All right, let's talk about LinkedIn. Because if you've ever felt like you're just screaming into a hurricane on there, you are definitely not alone. I mean, you're doing all the things, right? You're posting, you're consistent, but your growth, your profile, it's just hit a wall. So, what if I told you the reason for that has nothing to do with luck or talent or some secret course you haven't bought yet?
It's probably the number one frustration out there. You're posting your heart out, but the numbers just aren't moving. And it's so easy to look at others in your field who are blowing up and just think, the algorithm must hate me. And you know what? That's a totally fair thing to feel, especially when you're doing everything you've been told is the right way. But here's the kicker. You're not wrong. The algorithm has changed. But we're not talking about a little tweak here and there. We're talking about a fundamental, ground-up reinvention that makes pretty much all the old advice totally useless. And getting your head around this one big shift, well, that's the key to everything. For the longest time, getting ahead on LinkedIn was about playing a very specific game. And if you're still using those old rules, you're not just playing badly, you're playing a game that doesn't even exist anymore. Think about it. The old game was all about sending signals to a machine. A like was a signal. A keyword was a signal. The whole goal was to figure out the perfect combo of signals to hack the system and get seen. It was pretty mechanical, and yeah, for a while it worked. But that machine, it's been scrapped. So what's different now? Well, LinkedIn didn't just tune up its engine. Based on their own research papers, it seems they've ripped out the entire mechanical assembly line and replaced it with a single, incredibly powerful, centralized brain. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the difference here. The old feature factory was a numbers game. It was just asking, how many likes did this get? What keywords are in it? But the new reasoning engine, it actually reads and understands language. It's asking, what's the core idea here? Is this actually valuable? It's a huge leap from basic math to deep analysis. And this new brain even has a name, 360 Brew. The best way to think about it isn't as an algorithm, but more like a PhD-level expert who specializes in your exact industry. It's been trained on just a mind-boggling amount of LinkedIn data, so it gets the nuances of professional language. It's not counting your signals anymore. It's actually reading your work and understanding its substance. And look, this isn't just some theory I'm cooking up. This comes from a really deep analysis of LinkedIn's own academic papers and engineering blogs. It was all put together brilliantly in this guide from Trust Insights. They're the ones who really connected the dots on how this new language-first ecosystem actually works. So, this is the most important part. If we're now talking to an intelligent reader instead of a simple counting machine, we have to completely change how we communicate. The game is no longer about sending signals. It's about making a clear, compelling case. And this framework explains the new rules perfectly. First, your profile. It's not just a list of keywords anymore. It's a dossier, an executive summary that the AI reads to figure out who you are. Second, your content isn't just a post. It's the case you're presenting to prove you know your stuff. And third, your engagement, the things you like and comment on. That's like a live briefing, telling the AI what you think is important in your field right now. Okay, so how do we put this into action? Let's look at some of the biggest mistakes people are still making, a lot of which were pointed out by Forbes, and see how the fix for each one clicks perfectly into place with this new AI. First up, this classic. We've all done it, right? We use that stiff business speak and corporate jargon because we think it makes us sound professional. It feels safe. But here's the fix. Since 360 Brew is a language model, it's literally built to understand and reward real, authentic, human conversation. This is huge. Writing like you talk is no longer just a style choice. It is now technically the best way to prove your value to the system. Next up, the weak opening line. We see these all the time. These vague, boring questions or statements in the first two lines that just don't grab anyone. So the fix is to start thinking about your post as a prompt that you're feeding to an AI. And just like with systems like ChatGPT, the information you put right at the beginning gets the most weight. Your first two lines aren't just for people anymore. They are the most critical part of the prompt that tells the AI whether your content is worth paying attention to. And finally, this big one, the mistake of trying to be so professional that you become forgettable. So many people just sand down all their interesting edges, their humor, their unique perspective, because they think professional means generic. The fix here requires a total mindset shift. In a world that's about to be flooded with generic AI-generated content,
Your personality, your unique stories, your human voice, that is your single greatest competitive advantage. The old system couldn't tell the difference, but this new, smarter AI is absolutely sophisticated enough to pick out your authentic voice from all that noise.
So let's just pull this all together. The real change here, the big shift, is moving away from trying to feed signals into a machine and toward telling a clear, compelling story to an intelligent reader. And the opportunity this creates is just staggering. According to Forbes, get this, only 1% of LinkedIn users post content every week. And that tiny 1% generates 9 billion impressions. The platform is starving for quality ideas. And for people who get this new reality, the potential for growth is just off the charts.
So here's the bottom line. Stop trying to hack the machine. That game is over. The new game is about articulating your value with clarity and conviction. The new LinkedIn brain is there, and it's ready to listen. The only real question is, are you ready to tell your story?